Guess who we have on the program right now? We have the governor of Texas himself, Mr. Greg Abbott. Governor, okay, how much money have you got to start rebuilding the wall, and how much wall can you rebuild?
So the Texas legislature really took a strong stand to make sure that the state was going to have enough money to build the wall, but at the same time make sure that we have the National Guard on the border and Texas Department of Public Safety on the border, and that we are working to both secure the border immediately, while at the same time on the long-term process build the wall. $3 billion of Texas taxpayer money has been devoted to this cause of Texas securing the border. And so we have a lot of money available to us to continue to build the wall. And Stuart, I'll add this, for Texas, it's going to cost less than it did for the Trump administration for one reason, and that's because in Texas, unlike the Trump administration, we're not having to devote money to acquire the land. As you heard Bill Melugin say, the initial components of the wall are being built on land the state of Texas owns on the border itself. Secondly, there are property owners of massive acreage on the border who are fed up with Biden's open border policies, and they are donating their land to Texas for us to be able to use that land for free to build a wall on their property.
That is really quite something there. Now, Governor, Texas has to patrol the border itself using your own officers. The feds are not doing it. And now people are that you are using to patrol the border, they are allegedly violating civil rights of the migrants. It seems like you can't win, Governor.
Well, we're going to fight, and I'll tell you why. That's because the Biden administration has abdicated its constitutional obligation to enforce the laws of the United States. That's the fundamental task of the president of the executive branch. There are laws passed by the United States Congress concerning governing immigration. The Biden administration has abandoned enforcing those laws, and so Texas is going to step up and enforce those laws. And you mentioned patrolling the border. So we have soldiers and Department of Public Safety officers on the border itself. However, we also have a boat blockade in certain areas of the Rio Grande River to make sure that we're using boats to prevent those rafts from coming across the border. The challenge that we have, of course, is the border is so long, is more than 1,200 miles long. And so it's a matter of having sufficient personnel. Along those lines also, Stuart, I'll add this. The Biden administration has tied the hands of the United States Border Patrol, limiting their capabilities, but also limiting their number in a way that makes federal government enforcement of border policies completely feckless and is destructive and dangerous to the United States of America.
Is there any way you can make the feds pay for this?
We are seeking federal government to pay for this, and there have been requests made by members of the Texas congressional delegation to the federal government for funding to get all this done. Texas will also be bringing legal action against the federal government for the state of Texas to get reimbursed for all the costs we have incurred to do the federal government's job.
Okay. Your state has attracted a lot of businesses from other states. They're moving to Texas. A lot of people are actually coming from California. Are they bringing their politics with them? I ask because we had a member of the Austin City Council on earlier this morning on this show who said, look, in Austin, they've extended COVID restrictions for a year without any public comment. So is that the influence of Californians coming to Austin, Texas, and screwing things up, if I may say so?
Well, first, let me make this point, and that is, in Austin, they have, quote, attempted to extend COVID restrictions. That's contrary to my statewide executive order that applies in Austin, Texas itself, where there are zero COVID restrictions in the state of Texas. And I'm in Austin right now. You walk around Austin, people are not wearing masks. Masks are not required here, and there's no closure obligations whatsoever. In fact, for the city to try to close down a business would be contrary to my executive order, and there would be a winning lawsuit in the event that the city of Austin tried to close down business. Along those lines, Stuart, I got to tell you this because there's big information that just came out just about 30 minutes ago that shows you how open Texas has been. Our jobs report came out today. Not only did our jobs report show that Texas now has more people employed than we did the month before COVID hit, but also if you look at the non-farm payrolls, Texas has set now an all-time record for the number of people who have jobs in non-farm payrolls. So the Texas economy is robust, it's growing, we're open for business, and more Texans are working in non-farm jobs than ever before in the history of our state.
That is spectacular, sir. Congratulations. I would invite you to New York to see what it's like here, but I don't think you'd want to come. It was a great pleasure to have you on the show today, sir, and we'd hope you can come back soon, because that was a terrific report on jobs and the war. See you later, Governor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.